Greetings everybody, Richard Fulmer here, and this is a video which is a little different. This is my 200th video on YouTube. Yes, we've managed to get to 200. So I started this channel, I can tell you exactly when I started it. The first episode, if you like, went out on the 23rd of July 2020, all those years ago. I'm a little grayer now, probably a little wider as well. And if you look at those early videos, especially that very first one, you can see I'm very nervous. I mean, I've never done anything like this before, so it was all new to me. And very few smiles, very serious, music's a serious business. But I think I've managed to ease up a little over the years. There's my co-presenter just having a stretch. So I do it for the love of music. I don't get paid for this. Music has always been my passion. Those people that know me well, I was in music retail for 30 years. So that's what I kind of missed when I retired, was the interaction between myself and like-minded people who enjoyed music. So I thought, let me just start a channel. Everybody else is doing it on YouTube. Why don't I? So I got a hold of a very good friend of mine, Michael Erfurt, my partner in crime, man behind the scenes, and put our heads together and we came up with Richard's Rock Rambles. And that's been going, as I said, for 200 episodes. And that's basically what this video is about. Very quick video. I just wanted to say thank you to everybody for watching, even if it's just been for 10 minutes or in passing. You happen to stumble across the channel and you watch one episode out of the 200. Thank you very much. If you're a regular and you comment quite often, great stuff. That's why I enjoy doing it. I love the interaction, the comments down below. Always interested to see what people have to say about whatever I'm waffling on about. And music there's so much to talk about. I mean, you can go back, you can go forward. It doesn't stop. Music happens all the time. And I sometimes think without music I would have probably gone doolally. Keeps me sane. Let's put it that way. So what I've asked Michael to do, what he's actually suggested we do, is after I've had my little intro here, we might watch a few clips from over the years, and you'll see all sorts of different hairstyles, my impeccable taste in fashion, which is debatable. And but I also want to just thank a few notable people who contribute regularly to the channel in the comments section. So first of all, my thank yous, obviously Michael Erfurt, who's put up a lot of effort into the channel. He's the editor. He does everything that I don't do. You just see my ugly mug, and he's the guy that puts it all together. And he's got a day job as well, so sometimes there's a bit of a stress involved, getting things done in time. But I think in all of the 200 episodes, there've been very few mishaps. But you learn as you go along. And yes, thank you, Michael. You've done an amazing job, pal. Then a few other names. Firstly, my sister Mary stays in Saldanha here in Cape Town. Quite often gives comments, gives thumbs up for each episode. Sometimes it's not something that she's really into, but she always gives her 5 cents worth, And appreciate that, Mary. Thank you. John Bellamy, another gentleman who's got a YouTube channel, really good channel as well. You must check it out. And he always has interesting things to say as well about what I waffle on about. And he's also introduced me to a few other bands that I didn't know about. So keep on rocking, John. Noel Small, my good buddy Noel Small, a man who would give you the shirt off his back. Great lover of Jethro Tull and a whole bunch of other bands, ELP. And he's also a regular contributor to the channel, watches it quite a bit, and has given quite a few comments over the years. Thank you, Noel. Clayton Orriser, who I used to work with many years ago at CD Warehouse here in Cape Town. And he's also a regular watcher, I think, of the channel. Also has a busy day job. I'm one of the retired guys, so time is not a problem for me. But, I really appreciate all the feedback and what have you. So thank you, Clayton. Adam van der Rit, a man I haven't met. I don't think I've met him. And he regularly comments on the channel. So thank you, Adam, for your input. And always great to hear from you. And then last but not least, Werner Steinberg. Werner and I have been we go back, way back. Also started out as a customer of mine at CD Warehouse, I think it was. We became really close friends. We regularly had music days here at my place, made a lot of noise, had a few beers. We actually need to have another one pretty soon. We haven't had one in a while. Fantastic guy. He's actually on holiday at the moment. He's in Scotland. I think he's been in England and now he's in Scotland. Not too sure if he's wearing a kilt. I really hope for their sakes he's not. So thanks, Vanna. Thanks for the support and for watching. Anybody else I haven't mentioned, and there will be other people I haven't mentioned, thank you for watching the channel. You guys make it worth my while. And like I said, I do it for the love of music. And I think it's, those that tune in and regularly comment, we're all in the same boat. We all like the same thing, which is music, essentially. So after I've had my little say now, there'll be a few clips that Mike's put together, Michael Erfurt's put together. So I hope you enjoy that. And once again, a big thank you for watching, and you guys rock. And yes, I shall catch you soon. Enjoy the clips. Bye-bye. Hi there, Richard Filmer here, and welcome to the first episode of Richard's Rock Rambles. On this channel, we're going to have a look at rock music, the different genres within rock music, some notable bands, as well as some great notable albums. So for this first foray into rock music, I have decided to go with the Southern rock genre, and decided to look at a band that I consider to be in the top 5 when you're talking about Southern rock classic bands, and that is the band Lynyrd Skynyrd. Greetings, Richard Filmer here. Hi there, Richard Filmer here. Welcome to another edition of Richard's Rock Rambles. Good morning, Richard Filmer here. Welcome to another edition of Richard's Rock Rambles. Greetings, Richard Filmer here. Good morning, Richard Filmer here. Welcome to another edition of Richard's Rock Rambles. Richard Filmer here, and welcome to another Richard's Rock Rambles, episode number 100. Who would have thought, eh? I've made it to 100. Jeez, where's the time gone? It seems like just yesterday I was doing my very first video, which I think was Lynyrd Skynyrd, if memory serves. Yep, and that was about a year and a bit ago. So time doesn't stand still. But it's been great, and hopefully there'll be another 100. So we've been looking at bands' second albums. So I thought what I'd do today is have a look at I've done Led Zeppelin, it's probably my favorite band. So now I'm going to do Black Sabbath, my second favorite band.
Hi everybody, and welcome to the show. I'm a face that you don't often see, because I'm behind the scenes. I'm basically doing everything, putting the show together. And Richard does most of the work, obviously, conceptualizes most of the shows, and he runs ideas past me, but essentially it's Richard's baby. And I met Richard years ago when he was in retail at CD Warehouse and at Musica. He basically is the cause of me being bankrupted. And again, Richard's love for music is infectious. He recommended so many records to me that I bought. And his sincerity and his passion is what makes him the person that he is. And I think that also makes the show a success, in my view. We started the show in 2020, the bleakest of years. And I think it was, for me personally, it was something that uplifted me. When we started and Richard ran this idea of a show, I thought, I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to do. I don't know how to do any of the technical aspects. because the idea for me was never ever to be on camera, always be behind the scenes, but I had no clue what the hell I was doing. And as we were planning the show, I was learning to use the software that I used to put the show together. And I remember Richard sent me some rough ideas and I put the show together. It was filled with verbose technical aspects, if you want to call it that. And Richard, being Richard, his feedback was gentle, but you could see that he hated it. So every single thing I learned while I was using the software I put in that video, and I know that he didn't like it, but the way that the feedback that he gave was so gentle, I knew, okay, this is not what he wants. And I think that he epitomizes Richard, his gentility for one, and his honesty. He can be both. He doesn't have to be cool in any sense of the word, and he's opinionated in a like I said, in a gentlemanly way. Nothing rough about him, nothing cool about him, and that's why the show works, and that's why we work so well together. In my mind, anyway, it's always, this is Richard's show, Richard's music, and Richard's ideas. And that's the kind of thing, and that's the kind of ideas we put forward with the show. And for me, his musical taste, we're not on the same page with a lot of bands, but I learned such a lot over the years. I did learn that I don't like progressive rock. I don't like bands like Yes, etc. But even though I don't like the bands, I like listening to Richard's narrative about those bands and the history that, and again, I always say Richard understates himself. He knows a shitload about music, even if it's not in the genre that he prefers. So I learned a lot watching the shows, putting the shows together. And I actually went to records and I decided I'm going to give this a shot. Because Richard speaks about things with such passion, it's infectious and you want to go listen to it. So what I did was I decided to listen to some of the things, some of his music, and even the music that I like, Led Zeppelin in particular. Richard contextualized Led Zeppelin in such a way that it made me like them even more and understand them even better. And I think the same thing applies to Black Sabbath. So I've always liked those bands, but I never understood it the way he did, or the way that he explained it. Then another band that I'm eternally grateful for is Allman Brothers Band. That is a band I just never listened to at all until Richard started speaking about them, and I started listening and I started falling in love with the band. And there's a couple of records that I have here next to me that Richard inspired, and I think the one gift that Richard gave me was Taylor Swift. He's a big Taylor Swift and he doesn't tell anybody about it. He will never do a show on it, but he loves Taylor Swift. And then another band, I think a couple of records that I got because of Richard, is Lynyrd Skynyrd, another Lynyrd Skynyrd over here, and this is the one that I love the best. And then we have bands and Black Sabbath also, definite Richard influences. And then one of Richard's favorite bands, obviously, Led Zeppelin. See, I bought a couple of those on his recommendation. And this one I always had this in my collection. But again, Richard's knowledge made me want to go back to them and listen to them from a different perspective. Another one that Richard told me about was this. One of the records I actually avoided. When I listened to this, I just absolutely fell in love with it. And then here's Duane Allman, another one. And let's look at this. Free, Bad Company. So yeah, this is a pile of records that Richard recommended. And then another favorite that I avoided is Heart, 3 Heart albums. And then let's see over here, Jethro Tull, Another band I avoided, and he recommended this. And this one I always knew, but this particular album Richard recommended. And let me not, another band, I think Sturbs is here as well. And then someone, when I look at Richard now, for some weird reason, I see Bob Seger. For me, there's some kind of resemblance between the two. I'm not actually sure if Richard is a Bob Seger fan, but I think in terms of looks, there's a definite overlap in terms of the way that they look. And then finally, I'm not sure, but I think Richard mentioned Little Feat to me as well. But there's a load of records in my collection. When I look at it, I think either Richard sold it to me, convinced me to buy it, or he had it in his collection and he told me, you need to listen to this. And for me, his open-mindedness in terms of music is refreshing. You don't get someone like that often. Definitely not someone who's narrow-minded. And I think as he got older, his musical taste expanded vastly. And I think because of that, we're both still musical addicts. I think we're gonna die being addicted to music. So from 2020 up until now, Richard and I haven't had a disagreement, no arguments, no sour grapes. And I think that's specifically because of his passion and his gentle way of dealing, not only with me, but with people in general. And maybe that doesn't come across when you meet him. He can be blunt, particularly about music, but never, ever nasty, and always honest. So I play guitar, I write songs, I send it to Richard and I ask him to sing. That's the kind of relationship we have. And this show, I think, in a way, has solidified our friendship. And I hope the show continues for another 200 episodes. To him, I want to say I see him as the captain of the show. Keep doing what you're doing, because somewhere along the line, people are going to listen to your knowledge and your wisdom about music. But keep up the good work. And I'll be here helping you as long as the show continues. I'll be doing what I'm doing. And I think in terms of Richard's confidence in particular, in terms of being in front of the camera, you can see the difference from show 1 up until now. For me, being on camera is not something I will ever do. The only reason I'm doing it is because I want to send out a thanks to Richard for trusting me and for putting his faith in me to help him with the show. Because it is his baby and it is something that's very, very special to him. So every time I approach a show, it really needs to be put together well, and it must be neat and it must be clear with no careless mistakes and things like that. Because I know Richard is a perfectionist, and so am I. But I really am still enjoying doing the show, still enjoying learning. And it's difficult for me to actually choose my favorite shows. But if I'm forced to, it's going to be something Led Zeppelin or Black Sabbath related. Because when Richard speaks about those two bands, it's like listening to a preacher. And that is the kind of passion that I enjoy, and that's the kind of passion that I feed. So Richard, thank you for doing the show. Thank you for asking me to join you, and I wish you another 200 episodes. And I never ever dreamed that I will speak for so long. But thanks again for the show. And thanks everybody for listening as well.